Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Zacarias. We back. So I'm starting a new series today called Fro Talk, where I take all of my newfound experiences and I try to learn y'all a lesson. So in this episode of Fro Talk, I'm going to discuss all of the pros to solo traveling. And just to keep the balance, after this, I'm going to release a video about the cons of solo travel. So I hope I learn y'all a lesson today. Let's go. So as y'all may know, I moved out to Europe about 6 months ago alone, and I've been doing a lot of solo travel since then. I've been to like 10 different countries all alone. I've never traveled alone before that, but I love it. And in no way am I saying that solo travel is for everybody. I mean, I know people that can't go to lunch by themselves, but I am saying that everyone should at least try it once if the opportunity arises. And when I say the opportunity arising, I mean like you had a planned trip, somebody canceled, and now you're like, I guess I'll cancel too. Nah, it ain't gotta be that. You can still go. You can have an amazing time. Or maybe you just plan a solo trip from the jump. That's what I do. So with that being said, I'm gonna use my experience to show y'all the pros and cons that I've found to solo travel. Number one pro to solo travel is the flexibility. Solo travel opens up your schedule immensely. I mean, the world is yours at that point because now you're allowed to freely do whatever you want, whenever you want, without the pressures of anyone else's desires. I know it sounds selfish, but it's a game changer. Just one example of this, I'm an early riser when I'm on vacation. I mean, I get up at like 8 a.m. Sometimes before that, if I want to go out of town, do a little day trip. And I know people that I love that love to sleep in when they're on vacation. You know, I love you. Don't even trip. And that drives me nuts sometimes because I wake up early. I'm just out of sheer excitement. I want to go. I can explore a whole town, hit a museum, and have a couple croissants by lunchtime. And that person might just be getting out of bed. And the thing is, when you travel with people, you don't want to go see all these things without them. You come back and they're like, oh man, you did that without me. It's like, bro, come on. So waking up is just one example of this. There are many other things like the things you want to do, what you want to eat, when you want to eat, and the pace at which you want to see things. Some people like to have a little more chill vacation. Some people like to be on the go. So it also allows you to find out what kind of tripper you are, how you like to spend your vacations. Because a lot of times we just do what everybody else wants to do, or we compromise a lot on it, which is good sometimes for the sake of being with your people, but I think everybody should know who they are too. Okay, number two pro. You already know this, but people are flaky. You know who you are. You. Not you. You. So how many times have you planned a trip, large or small, with one other person? Who knows? And within a week of the trip happening, somebody bails, and then the rest of the people are like, I can't do it without them. Or you might just plan it with one other person. It's like, I can't go alone. To that I say no more. Because what I found is that even without that person being there, even if that was the only other person that was going to be there, you can still have an amazing time despite them not being there. Sometimes you can have an amazing time in spite of them not being there. That's called revenge fun. That's when you have an extra fun just because they not there. You just want to be like, you just want to stun on them like, hey, this could have been you. Hey. So yeah, the number three pros, meeting new people. So that's one of my favorite things about solo traveling. You know, when you go to trips with your people, you're kind of in your clique, you're in your group. You're not really out there to bring other people into your group. When other people do talk to you, it kind of ends up being like, all right, yeah, let's have this conversation. But as soon as they leave, can't wait so we can talk some shit about you, talk about how weird you are, which I admit is fun. But there's something about being alone that makes you more approachable. I mean, obviously. But it also makes you want to extend conversations, which makes sense if you've been talking to yourself for the last 3 hours. It's nice to have somebody to converse with. So it's been a great way to network with people all around the world. And now I feel pretty comfortable in saying like, I know somebody in this country that I can go stay with whenever I go. Like I know locals around Europe just from solo traveling. I know it wouldn't have happened if I traveled with a group of people or with somebody else because we would have been enjoying our own company. So number four pro to solo traveling is self-reflection. I know it sounds cheesy, but I have learned a lot about myself since I came out here. And I didn't go leave to find myself. It's just to explore the world. And it's a very strange but free feeling to feel like you don't belong to anything for however amount of time. And what I mean by that, like our whole lives, we've been a part of something, a belonging to something. You know, we might be somebody's child in their house, might be somebody's student, somebody's employee, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband. child, whatever. But for that time that you're solo traveling, I mean, you really don't feel like you belong to anything. You just feel free out in the world. And although it's temporary, it is a very real feeling that sticks with you even after you come back home. So the number 5 reason I'd say is just general growth. So when you're traveling in a foreign land in general, whether you're with somebody or alone, you're just gonna come up on stressful predicaments, things that you couldn't foresee happening. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I almost missed the last train home and I would have been stuck in some random place without a hotel for the night, and I just made it by the skin of my teeth. Like, that's happened a lot. You know, just a lot of stressful predicaments where you have to come up with some problem solving, critical thinking, clutch performances, last minute. Doing it with somebody else takes the load off of you so much, of course. But when you have to do it alone and you come out on the other end of it, you do come out feeling really good about yourself, like really strong. Like, I did this shit. I did it on my own. I figured it out. Like an hour ago, I thought I might have died, but now I'm out here. So it is a very good feeling because you grow from each situation. You learn from each one, like, okay, I know what to do, what not to do, and how to avoid bad situations, and just to optimize your future travel. So that's growth if I ever seen it. And after I've come back home to America to visit, I've noticed I handle things differently. I approach situations more confidently, and just knowing that no matter how hard it looks or crazy, like, I've done much more difficult things and come out. So this ain't nothing. Like, I'm good. So I appreciate y'all watching this episode of Fro Talk. I hope I learned y'all something today. And if you're still uncertain about solo traveling, still kind of on the fence, just know it's natural to be afraid of the unknown. I mean, I was too. But you gotta remember, life begins where your comfort zone ends. A wise man learned me that in my youth. If y'all like what y'all saw, like it, drop a comment, share it, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But in the meantime, I'm gonna catch y'all later. All right, y'all, peace.